Hello everyone and welcome to my very first process video on a scrapbook layout. Today I'm going to be voicing over about a project I did on my first day of nursing school. My first day of nursing school was last January of 2013 and I wanted to get it down on paper. So anyway, welcome and enjoy. Hopefully this won't be a hot mess because I've never done this before. I told my husband after I was done clipping, I'm like, can I talk for 38 minutes? He said, absolutely. Anyway, here's my first day. And he was like, come on, show me how you really feel, you know? And so I did that. And I know the other one's more formal, but if you know me, that's how I usually am. So that's a picture I'm choosing. I got this paper pack at Target and I love it. It's ombre and you get green, teal, blue, purple, pink, and red. And it looks like it's been crumpled up, so I really, really like the texture of it. And you get a few sheets of each. I'm showing you some pieces of scraps I'm going to be using. Our colors are white and hunter green pants that we wear to clinicals, so I was just kind of not necessarily going with the hunter green, but a hue that would match. Here I'm using some ampersand paper from A Beautiful Life. And I wasn't too hip on that floral, so I didn't mind wasting the other side of that. This is Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm, and that side is called Noteworthy. I have used some of the arrows, but I have a couple other sheets of that, so I'm not worried about wasting that at all. And then also from Lucky Charm collection, I'm going to be using this paper. I love that A side, but I'm more interested in that cutout right there. I might use some of the other. On that green, it shows the days of the week. That's why I'm pointing to that, but it doesn't end up making it on the page. And then this piece is cream and it has green typed letters on it. So I thought that that would be kind of good for a school look. As a layering piece, not sure. So I kind of set it off to the side. I love to ink the edges of my cardstock. I'm using Close to My Heart's Desert Sand. And that's my go-to color. If I'm doing a super dark brown page or you know, a dark color of cardstock or something, I'll use a deeper shade of brown or a gray. Very rarely do I use black. I don't think I'm going to show you shading this whole. See, I'm just showing you the comparison. And it's easier to see when you're right up on it. I did do all four sides, but I was sparing you that. And I also outline my edges. I think this comes back from, I've always done it. Do I do it on every project? No, but I do it on most of them. It just kind of helps things pop and stand out. But I used to, you know, back in the early 90s, there were lots of craft shows and things, and I used to cut out my own wood and, you know, toll paint and do my whole thing. And part of that was outlining my projects. It was that dash dot, dash dot, dot, dash dot, dot. But here I just do straight lines and I don't move my wrist. I just kind of move my arm as a whole. Taking some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Gold and Primrose. I'm taking my color cues, well, the green from the pants in the picture, but from that cutaway, you'll see it's that cream background. And it matches the ampersands kind of in this background paper here, but in the bottom right corner are three hearts, and it's a green, kind of a goldenrod yellow, and a pink. So that's kind of where I'm getting my color combo. Oh, and because of the outlining, I think I'm pulling out some darker. That was Tinsel by Heidi Swapp, kind of a silver gray. I love it. It's not quite black, but it's enough to help you know, mix in my journal writing later on and such. That's my instant gratification right there. So I don't have to wait for it to dry. I just roll a paper towel over it and it's good to go. Love it. I'm mounting my picture here on some cream solid cardstock, and I'm also going to do up the edges there with my brown ink, but I saved you most of that. I think I cut some of that out. I've never edited a video ever, as you can tell. So it's going to jump around a little bit, but I'll get better, I promise. My ATG gun, I love that thing, that pink glue gun right there. Or not glue gun, tape runner. I love that thing. Now with ombre paper, this is the lightest side you're seeing. You know, it goes from deep to light, and people usually use ombre, you know, the deeper side going from the top, and it gets lighter as it goes to the bottom, or vice versa. They'll use the lightest on the top, and as it goes down, it goes darker. I'm using mine from left to right just because that's how I had cut the piece, and that's the scrap I have. And I'm choosing to put the darker color to the left because as it comes to the right, to me it's kind of like an arrow, and it pulls you into the picture a little bit more. Sounds good when I say it anyway. Here I'm getting ready to cut up that noteworthy paper. Kind of looks like a journaling paper to me, you know, reminiscent of school. So I am going to be jazzing that up a little bit with a punch. Here's my Fiskars punch. It's like a gives the edge like you ripped it out of a spiral notebook, and I love that, and it's so easy to use. You line it up top there, there's a ridge, you put it up against so you make sure it's straight, and then as you cut the holes, you slide it over to the left, and the holes you've cut, you just line them up with that silver, you know, make sure that they match, and that's how you know you have it in the right place. And I think here oh, maybe not. Never mind. Kind of ruffle them up a little bit. I'm going to edge those as well. Just makes it look like I actually ripped it out of the notebook. And I like that because it adds some dimension and texture to your page as well. And I do save those little scraps because I've used those in little groupings before, your embellishment groupings. I'm debating where to cut that notebook paper, how far out I want it to go. I'm really looking for a better cutter. That one's Fiskars, and it's good, but after a while they kind of warp, you know, and so you really have to make sure you line your paper up right. I went ahead and I sponged the edges of all those, and now I'm outlining them again. I think I hold up this piece to kind of show you a little bit. But you can see I'm not moving my wrist, I just kind of move my arm. I'm getting over cold, and I looked a hot mess this day, and I sounded even worse. I still sound, oh yeah, see? Just kind of jazzes it up a little bit. I'm going to do this one too, but yeah, at least my nails were done. I don't know, I felt horrible that day, but I really wanted to get this up and running. I have this new Corel program, and I don't know how to, it's not very user-friendly, or maybe it's just me, Corel Video Studio Pro. I've heard good things about it, but I am not an IT person. I do much better with paper and scissors and glue than I do with computer stuff. And my husband's a computer guy, but he's not a video guy. I'm like, what's the difference? It's computer. He's like, Robin, there's different nurses. Not everybody likes the OR or the emergency room. I'm like, true. Good analogy. But anyway, I'm just kind of starting to play around here. I'm going to get that tag out. I'm thinking, at this point, I'm thinking that's where I want my title to go, is on here. Oh, I love the other side. And I noticed that that branding strip has the days of the week on there, and I'm like, perfect, it's a school layout. Let's use it. It even says, you know, has the weekends on there, but that's okay because nursing students know you have clinical on the weekends too, so not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, so I just kind of set it aside. Everything's very vertical right now, so I'm wanting to pull in some horizontal pieces. And I'm deciding I do want to mat that picture on something else. So I'm using that number paper I was telling you about earlier. And I leave 2 rows on every side of the paper. So there's 2 rows of numbers up top, bottom, and both sides. So that when you look at it, you can see the numbers. I etched and outlined that as well. Excuse me if I cough. Like I said, I'm still getting over this cold. I'm going to have to take a drink here in a minute. Everything's so straight and my picture's kind of goofy, so I'm matting that. My picture's going to be straight, but that number mat is going to be a little wonky. And that is a technical term you may borrow, by the way, wonky. I don't know. I just wanted to make it a little more playful, not so vertical. Oh, y'all, I'm going to have to do a video on these markers. Love them. They're made by Zig, and they're Wink of Stella. These are the brush markers, so the brush tip. This one's clear, but it has glitter to it. All these brushes, all the colors have glitter to them, so it just gives it a little bit of something, something. I think, see, a little bit of glitter there. I like it. And they dry like right away. Oh, they're awesome. I paint my wood veneer with them. I paint my chipboard with them. The white foam thickers, you can paint them too with those. Like I said, I'll do a little bit of, and I have every color that I was able to buy at that scrapbooking retreat I went to in October with my mother-in-law and my cousins-in-laws. They're so much fun. So I'm deciding, I cut that tag and I'm using a piece on the other side instead of wasting the paper going behind the photo there, and I didn't have any more of it, so I cut it and I'm using the other side, and it looks like it's one long piece. So I'm bringing that horizontal edge to the other side, as well as with that branding strip with the days of the week. I'm kind of digging that so far, I think. It's kind of funny watching these videos. I've never watched myself scrapbook, so when I was going back and looking at this, I'm like, why are you fiddling with that so much, Robin? Just, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. I was thinking, because I don't remember doing that, so I think I was just thinking. So in the meantime, I was fiddling with the paper. Now I'm looking for some little bits to add, because I'm kind of stuck right now as to what I want to do exactly. So I pull out a little heart tab. Oh, I like that golden color. I think I'm going to use that. I pull out a date piece, and that goldenrod piece up there, it says hold tight to this moment. Oh, and to pull out some more pink, I use that tag, that chevron tag. Really like it. Here's some more little cut aparts from L Studio I really want to use. I just bought them, but nothing for this layout. Oh, Heidi Swapp, yeah. I just made a little Michael's run, and those were on sale. They were like $3.99, I think, and I got them for $1.79. Had some little butterflies and arrows and some sayings. And there's one that said happiness. For those of you who may not scrapbook yet, if you are one of my nursing school subscribers, with wax paper, and when you're using stickers or the letter stickers or something, and you're not quite sure where you want to put them yet, but you really need to see them on the page, you can put them on wax paper and move the wax paper around. You could see through the wax paper, so you can see where it's going to work, how big something goes, and move your title around so that it works and fits, but you're not committed to it. It doesn't go down on your paper. And if you decide not to use it, you peel it up off the wax paper, it's still sticky on the back, and you can put it right back on the sticker sheet. Voila! That's pretty awesome. Oh, I'm showing you. Those are L Studios. Little tidbits I ordered from 2Bs during their sale last month. I think I decided to cut this in half too and use that other half somewhere else, because that's wasted tag. I'm going to pop that up top, kind of like a bookmark later on above my picture, I think. Excuse me. I knew that was coming. I wanted to save the days of the week, a couple of the days, for another layout, so I think I'm going to cut out the middle piece that would be hidden by that paper. I know I started on Monday. My classes were Monday, Tuesday, and then my clinical days were Thursday, Friday. So I have thought about circling the Monday on there, but I didn't know how that would look, and I didn't do it. But you know what? I think I'm going to go back and do it, because I knew it was a Monday, and I shouldn't care how it looks, you know. It's my page. So, oh, I picked the word happiness. But yeah, I'm looking pretty happy in that. Excited is more like it, but there wasn't an excited on there, but happiness will do, because definitely was happy that day. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to put the picture down, but then I thought about jazzing it up a little bit. So I'm pulling out some of that yellow, and this is white with yellow stripes, and I think I'm kind of showing it. I was debating which one. I think I was even asking you guys which one to use, like you can answer me. So I'm making an executive decision and going with the goldenrod color for now. I'm going to wrap it around that picture. And I'm guesstimating right now. That's guessing and estimating at the same time. I'm guesstimating right now the tail to leave to thread this ribbon through this button, or thread through the button, and I miscalculate. And then I try and fiddle with it and move it around, and it's just not going to work. So I'm going to unwrap the thing. I thought about cutting this part out, and I'm like, you know what? They need to know. If they're new to scrapbooking, they need to know that sometimes, see, that little tail, it's just, so I'm trying to pull, I was like, I have to undo it. I was still trying to make it work, but I figure I'd be faster just undoing it and rewrapping it. So I pull some of that tail off so I have a little more tail for the other side. Silly me. Sometimes things don't work out the first time. That's all right. It's all part of the process. Now, if you don't have a button, you could just go ahead and tie that off in a bow or a knot or whatever, just like that. I've taken these twines. I love to use, what's it called? Like a hemp or something. It's a little more rugged for guys' pages, and I'll braid it or something. Cut off 3 pieces and I'll braid it or twist it and tie it in a knot on both ends or something. It's a nice look as well. I used to use ribbon constantly. I still have tons of ribbon, but now washi tape is in, and I've gotten on that bandwagon, and this baker's twine, I love it. And that big roll set, I don't know if you saw it, it was like 12 or 18 rolls, different colors. Some were solids and some were the striped. I got that at TJ Maxx for like $3.99, but you go to Michael's or something, and they'll be like $12, or it's $8.99 just for 3 of them or something, 3 colors. So you really need to check out your Marshalls, your Ross, and your TJ Maxx. It's usually just a tiny little back corner section or something, and they have crafting and scrapbooking things that are discontinued or whatever from your arts and crafts stores, and they sell them for cheap. That's where I get my stickers, my letter stickers. Instead of paying $4.99 like I would in Michael's or an arts and crafts store or online, I can get them for $1.49 there. And they're not the newest thing out, but they're new to me, so it all works. And I'm in nursing school, so I'm not working right now, so it's a win-win. I'm starting to lay things down and commit here, so. And of course I have to, oh, look at that hair. Oh, horrible. Sorry, I didn't know that made it in. A lot of times I work with sketches, as inspiration or ideas, and this time I didn't. So it took me a little bit longer just because I wasn't really sure. I just jumped in. I didn't really have a plan. And from start to finish, this layout took me 1 hour and 42 minutes with a couple interruptions from my teenagers. Sorry, my computer stopped for some reason. And anyway, I'm just finishing this up. Trying to decide where I want to put everything. But like I said, this time I didn't have a sketch to go by to kind of help me out. So some days I can whip out a scrapbook page, half an hour. Sometimes the ideas are coming in my head faster than I can make them. And then other days I swear I stare at my stuff for hours, not knowing what I'm doing. Now see, I wanted to tuck that in and I just glued that down. I wasn't thinking. I told you I wasn't feeling good that day. I do this a couple of times to where I have to take it back up. I'm like, oh my word. And I do it again right here using that, and that ATG tape boy, when it's set, it's set. So I should be putting that tag down first, but I don't. Outlining this as well. Why not? Oh, here I'm going to use the, I don't know why I didn't use the goldenrod twine here, but that's okay. Yeah, I guess I put down that side first. And I am an eyeballer. I don't measure really. I just kind of look at, now see, I just pushed that down. Now I want to add in the tag. I think I said a few choice words right here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. If I was thinking, there we go, just cut the tag in half. Good girl. Oh my goodness, I swear. And I kind of put that tag a little wonky too. Still debating where I want to put that. Little tab. It's really cute. Oh, and I run out, my tape breaks because I run out. Of course, during a video I run out of. I'll just use my handheld one from here on out. Making sure I get it in the right place. So I decided to use this piece on the other side as well. Not sure where I'm going to put it. I think it finds its home right there for now. I find some other pink scrap paper. I think that's from Close to My Heart. It doesn't make it on. It's a different type of pink, which is fine. Now when I scrapbook, sometimes I stick to a monochromatic color scheme, meaning all the same color, maybe different hues of it, but more times than not, I'm using 3 to 4 different colors. And sometimes I pull the colors from my pictures. Other times I pull it from one piece of paper that I'm in love with. And sometimes I just pull colors that go together or that I like. I have a color wheel, but I really don't use it. I just kind of go what pleases my eye. So like I have 2 different greens there, but I count them as one color, just different hues. And then the pink is a second color. And then I have the background, it's beige with cream. And so that journaling tag right there with the hearts on it is also, it's a brighter cream, but it still pulls from the same family. And then I have that yellow goldenrod color, so that's 4. But I like the outlining of the black. It just kind of makes everything pop. There's really no rule. I mean, there's suggested rules, you know, groups of 3s or, you know, for embellishment clusters, which is true. It does help your eye flow around the page better. And you kind of want them in a triangle format. So the top right cluster is one. I think that button down there is going to be another one. And over here, this journaling tag somewhere. I think I was initially going to put it up with the tag, but I'm going to put it down there by the hearts. I think I'm using the hearts as part of a cluster. Tiny, tiny scrap of green. Not a bad idea to pull some of that darker green in. But look what I do. I tuck it there, and that's great. It shows wonderful. I pull out my glue gun, or my glue pen. That's all I used to use back in the day when I first started. I'd put down all my paper with that thing. Look, I hardly leave any showing. I don't know what I'm doing. I must be running out of fuel. I put this little piece a little wonky too. It doesn't line up perfectly with that green paper, but that's okay. So I put in that a little odd. I put my picture down a little wonky. I put that tag right there. That's going to go in a little wonky too. And that's okay. Some people like things super straight. My sister-in-law, I love her to pieces, but she has to have everything symmetrical. Everything has to be straight and everything is measured. So if she has an edge on her left side of the paper, it has to perfectly match the right side edge. So she has this little ruler and she measures in between pictures. She's very analytical, very smart girl. And her pages are great, but it takes her forever because she measures everything. I'm like, girl, just put it down. Go for it. Live a little. Live on the edge. Oh, I'm deciding I need some pink up there in that cluster, which is true. I really want to use that date stamp or that date tag there because I want to put the day I started. Because I remember right now, but I won't remember in 20 years the exact date I started nursing school. I thought that first day of nursing school would never come because I started school in the fall of 2011, decided to go back to school. I was a special ed para for 10 years. We're a military family, so we moved around, and we have 3 children, and they are now, well, they're all getting ready to have birthdays, so they're going to be 16, 18, and 20. My older 2 are girls, and my youngest one is a boy. And so they're able to drive around, and, you know, I needed a change. And sometimes some of the teachers I worked with, like when I would come up with a modification for one of the kids or something, they would look at me kind of like, well, you're not really a teacher. But I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was talking about. Some teachers were great. They're like, oh, awesome. Yeah, do what you need to do. And, you know, and others just didn't quite want to trust me. Now, if it came from my boss, of course, who had her degree, then sure. Then they would listen. But, you know, so I'm like, I need to get my education. I do know what I'm talking about, but okay, if you need the piece of paper to listen to me to know what I'm talking about. But nursing was always something I wanted to do. So I said, if I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to do something that I truly, truly love. And I did love being a para and working in the school with the kids. But this is my true heart's love, so I'm doing it. But my prereqs was supposed to take me 4 semesters, and I doubled a lot of my sciences up. Like I took anatomy and physiology 1 along with chemistry. I took the harder chemistry of the 2, so it'll transfer to my BSN. I'm in the ADN program for my RN. And then I also took like a sociology. And then my second double up was microbiology and anatomy and physiology too. And most people, you know, split those up, but I didn't. I took them together with a 3rd class. So I got my prereqs done in 3 semesters instead of 4. So I started, I'm pulling out that Wink of Stella clear glitter again to do up that heart, and I'm going to put some on that pink. Just adds a little something something. But you know, when you start from the beginning, you're thinking, I'm never going to get into this program, and I was very fortunate. I got excellent grades and got right in. I'm trying to remember the exact date, so I'm looking back on my calendar here, and I realize it's the 14th or 16th I started last year. So with scrubs being mandatory for you know, the program, it was a pretty neat step to walk around campus, you know, in your scrubs. And it's just kind of, even though you have 2 years left once you start the program, it's just, it was very exciting to start that new part. So I have 1 year left. I'll graduate in December of 2014, God willing. No, I'll be there. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life besides raise children and be a military wife, but would I do it again? Yes, actually I would, because I want to be a nurse that bad. Most people are, nope, never do it again, but I would. I love being in the, you know, the classroom, I'm okay, I do well, but when I'm in the hospital with patients and people, oh, I love it. That's where I shine a little bit. I'm pulling out some of these new Dear Lizzy epoxy stickers I ordered from 2Ps. And I remember the Amy Tangerine sticker book. I got 2. I haven't used anything out of there yet. I was debating, I saw something said noteworthy, but it was over gray. And I didn't really have I didn't have any gray in there, so I was like, nah, let me find something that'll work with the color scheme I have. And I see this little arrow here. It's curved a little bit, so I decided to try and use that somewhere. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, so I think I just set it on that wax paper for now until I figure out what I want to do with it. Thinking about my title now. I know I want to integrate this word happiness, and the letter stickers I had pulled out are going to be too big for either space, so I have to try and figure something else out. I'm still debating where I want the title. And in the end, it does end up down there. I'm thinking maybe a smaller type. I'm going through, looking through my bin of letters to match colors. The pink worked well, but they were just too big. And the greens I had just weren't the right. They were super bright green. They didn't match at all. So I remember a sticker sheet with some more of these titles, or tile stickers. I think this is Sweet Girl, the Lori Whitlock collection by Echo Park Paper. I believe that that's what it is. I like that light pink. I was debating about it. Sometimes I think too much. I just need to do it. Oh, pulling out the big guns. I love these tweezers. I use them for my fingers are just big, and I have troubles putting things down even using my fingers, so I use these tweezers. I think they're by Making Memories. Oh, yep, Sweet Girl by Lori Whitlock. Echo Park Paper, if you're interested. And I also use the thin teal, or yeah, that green font for the rest of my title off of that same sticker sheet. But getting back to those, you can see there the ends of those tweezers are they're rounded tip, but they're very narrow. So I can really pick up something tiny, turn it over and add glue to the back and just place it exactly where I want. I love them so much. But they came in a kit. Back in the day, do you guys remember eyelets? You know, it had the little hammer and the little metal piece. So you got, I still have eyelets. I'll have to find those. And you'd hammer it in, but those tweezers came in that. But I know they sell tweezers by themselves, but that's just where that particular pair came from. And my title I decided on is This is True Happiness. And it doesn't show here, but at the very end, I think you could see it in the pictures in the beginning, but under happiness, I handwrite in first day of nursing school. Because who's to know, you know, later on, whoever looks at this scrapbook, True Happiness, just because I'm in my scrubs in front of my fridge, why was this day so exciting for me? So they'll know it was my first day of nursing school. I was 43. I'll be 44 in May. So, you know what? Never too late to go back to school. And there's women older than I am in school getting their degrees. More power to you. Life's short. Be happy. But if I could tell you, young ones, it's much easier before family and children come along. So just stick with it. If you're, you know, younger, do it now. Living paycheck to paycheck is too hard. Get your education, then you can do what you want for your family. And you know what? You don't even have to get a college education. The trades are really, you know, plumber, bricklayer, masonry, you know, contractors, you know, just those are going by the wayside, and these people are going to be retiring soon, and there's no one really taking over their, you know, you can make a lot of money if you're good at something. If you're good with your hands, you know, make furniture, do, you know, use it. Use your talents. That was my mama's spiel. I'll get off that soapbox right now. Okay, title is down. First part of it anyway. Now I'm debating where to put that. It's jumping around now. I don't know why. Sorry about that. Oh, look at that face. Swollen eyes. Hair's not done. I'm sorry about that. I'm looking a hot mess. Ah. fingernails are done though. That's all good. All right. I think now I'm just putting the finishing touches because I wrote over where I wanted to put that button initially, so it ends up going down there. But in case this stops, thank you for watching. Hopefully my future videos won't be quite this long. I'm learning the editing thing, and maybe it'll go by faster if I use a sketch. Oh, I pulled this wood veneer out because it was the exclamation mark and I was so excited. So I said, but I don't have any other wood veneer down. So I start going through my stash there, but I end up saving it for something else. Pulling out the arrows. I think I decide to use these hearts because I already have hearts going on in my motif down there on the journaling tag and up above on that tag on my picture. Excuse me. Deciding to put it right in the middle of that bow, and I'm using this Scotch glue. I get it at Target. Oh, it's wonderful stuff. Ladies, that'll hold down chipboard. It's a heavy duty glue. If you want something to stay something thicker and heavy, that'll do it. I know you can order it, but Target does have it. You know what? I wonder if Sam's Club or BJ's or something would have it too in a bigger bottle. That might be something to look into in their office or school supply section. So I'm using these different heart colors, and now I'm pulling out these epoxy enamel dots. Those are by Reflections. I got those at Michael's. I'm going to pull out another pack here because that green is lighter. There's another shade a little bit deeper right there. It matches my green paper really well. So don't be afraid to use different patterns together. It just depends. You don't want things competing with each other. So I have different scales of patterns in here. And sometimes, you know, that background, even though it's patterned with ampersands on it, it's subtle. So there I'm able to bring in the more bold tag there with the chevron. The ledger paper just has really light colored lines. And then that green strip back there actually does have kind of a diamond print to it. But again, it's a monochromatic, so it's tone on tone, so they all work well. I'm adding a few more finishing details with the Heidi Swapp Color Shine. Getting the dots exactly where I want them to go. If you would like to see more pictures, better close-ups and such of my projects, I belong to Nicole Jones 911, her Facebook group for scrapbooking. And if you go into photos and hit albums, you'll see my album. I'm Robin Vignal Voke, and you can see the still pictures of everything I've created. And I think it's on my Facebook too. I think I have a scrapbooking album. If not, I'll make one. But here's some close-ups a little bit. Look at that face. Some of my cluster. So it was kind of funny watching my voiceover and stuff because I would hum and talk to myself. It was hilarious. I don't realize I do that when I create, but anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody have a great day. Bye.